Pearson Rabbit's story begins with Dr. Stephanie Pearson, a passionate OBGYN at the height of her career. When a shoulder injury struck during a precipitous delivery, her dreams were shattered, leaving her unable to practice medicine. Determined to make a difference, Stephanie became an advocate for her peers, guiding them through the complex disability process. Alongside insurance expert Scott Ravitz, Stephanie founded Pearson Ravitz, a company determined to approach insurance differently. Together, they set their mission to educate and empower physicians to protect their most valuable asset, their income, and the most important people in their life, their family. Today, Pearson Ravitz serves the medical community in all 50 states. At Pearson Ravitz, they understand the unique concerns of physicians. Physician-founded and physician-focused, Pearson Ravitz builds human connections before they create quotes. Life can change in an instant. It's hard to imagine that a sudden illness or injury could leave you and your family in a devastating financial situation. But with a little planning and guidance, you can prepare for every possibility. Visit PearsonRavitz.com today to schedule your consultation with a Pearson Ravitz advisor.
Finally, a source of raw, real, and honest information on healthcare issues that matter most. Welcome to BS Free MD. From the latest medical information to how to stay sane as a doctor or a patient, no subject is taboo, no BS is allowed. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Doctors May and Tim Hindmarsh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Doctales with Cocktails episode, and I am your host, May Hindmarsh, and as you can see, if you are watching the live stream, it's just me. So, welcome to our Wednesday night Doctales. I'm all peppy and happy, trying to get my energy up for you all, but I got stood up by Tim. Let's just say an hour ago, literally, he texted me and said, "I'm not going to make it. You got to do the show by yourself. Sorry." And he pulled the plug. He's got a good reason, so we got to give him a break here. But basically, if you've been following us, you know that we are moving. He's frantically moving his stuff around the garage storage units, and he texted me and said, "I'm stuck here. I'm not going to get away." So, all right, Tim, you're off the hook. And actually, since I was sick when we were in Canada and didn't get to do the show, hey, it's my turn. But on that note, I do not have an assistant like he did, so it's not totally fair. I reached out to a few people, but they were a little bit tied down or busy, so to speak. And so, is it Mitchell? I was going to say Michelle, but Mitch went by Michelle. Can't be Michelle. Can't be here with us or here with me to help out. So, as you can see, I got my empty seat here in honor of Tim, but his picture's up there. And if you're viewing the podcast with me, look at the shelves in the background. Pretty empty, right? It's kind of sad. And the here we go. Our X-ray box, I pulled those down. The room is getting bare. The picture on the wall, I don't know, maybe I should just leave that for the new owners of the house so that they get haunted by us. Anyway, it's been pretty stressful this week. And if you read our email that came out today that I wrote, you'll feel my feelings. In fact, tonight I am wearing my earrings that I usually do when I am stressed. Anybody got any guesses? Type it in the comments and let me know. I'll give you all a few minutes to guess and we'll talk about it. What I want to talk about on the show tonight, and really, we were going to kind of do a really brief show. Tim's still sick, still fighting the vid or the flavor of the fall like everybody else. I'm feeling like I'm coming down with it. So we're going to keep it short and sweet. We're just going to reflect on our time here in Oregon. We're going to talk a little bit about moving stuff. We talked yesterday on our Truth Bomb about the madness of crowds, give you a little update on that. I've got a couple weird news pieces for you of the week that I saw, as well as tell you what's upcoming in the show tomorrow and next week. But just kind of highlight our time here in Oregon. Since next week, we will be on the road, taking it literally across the country. And so we haven't quite figured out what we'll do for Doctales, but stay tuned. All right. Nobody's guessed about the earrings I'm wearing. So they are, it's hard to really see, but I got these things. Oh gosh, it would have to be in before 1997, the year that our first child was born, Olivia. It's The Scream by artist Edvard Munch. Edvard. And he composed this drawing in 1893. I didn't know this, but there's actually, I think, 4 versions of this painting. There's 2 in pastels and a lithograph stone. 2 painted versions were stolen, apparently, like pretty recently. There was a theft in 1994 during the Winter Olympics in Lillehammer. 2 men broke into the National Gallery in Oslo and stole their version of the Scream. They left a note that said, "Thanks for the poor security." Anyway, there was a theft in 2004 from the Oslo Museum when they stole at gunpoint it as well. But I have these cute little versions, these artist renderings, and I like to wear them whenever I'm stressed, when I'm anxious, when I just want to scream. And this week has been that. I'm fighting off the cold that's going around in our house. I'm not sleeping well because of the stress. This will be the second move in a year. And if you've ever moved before, especially multiple times a year, you know what it's like. Just on that note, before I go further, let's let Tim in because he is. Got you in the studio. What's going on?
Okay, we're driving really slow through Lebanon with a really super sketchy situation because we took this engine out of the Trans Am, and the little crate I bought for it to transport it didn't work because apparently Pontiac engines are different than Chevys. So I have it on an actual engine stand, and it's very top heavy.
Is it inside the vehicle or outside the vehicle?
No, it could not be inside the vehicle. It's like 700 pounds.
So to let everybody know, I think, did we talk about this in the podcast? How, yes, we did, about how you got in the fender bender from the dopey person texting and driving, correct? While he was doing DoorDash and destroyed our Escalade, which is not stressful, at all in the least when you're trying to move in 2 weeks. And then we get a nice brand new to us 2016 Escalade that Tim acquired last week in a mad dash. And I think God was blessing us how it worked out. And now I was going to freak out that you put an engine inside of that beautiful piece of artwork. But no, it's on the outside. You're towing it.
Yes, because if it was inside, you'd be really upset because when we pulled the motor mounts out and we were adjusting, trying to get the cherry picker to lift it out of the subframe, we flipped the subframe up and it flipped the engine out of the frame upside down and dumped all of the oil onto the trailer.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So where's the engine going now?
It's going obviously to the house, to our bedroom.
Obviously. Oh, I thought it was going to be
a storage unit.
I thought it was going to be on the front lawn like everybody else is shitting this down. Right. Next to the toilet and next to the barbecue we can't sell, which I'm ready to give away to whoever drives up and gets it first, but that's for later in the show. Oh, boy. So have you moved everything from... We have so many storage units. It's embarrassing. I don't even want to... We downsized. I've been selling stuff, giving stuff away. I'd like to say it's mostly all Tim's crap that's left, which is automotive stuff. I after this, will you be able to join us, or no? Am I running solo for the whole show?
No, you're going to be solo because we have to get this thing. We're just passing the wonderful Hideaway Distillery at 40 miles an hour with our hazards on, and then I'm going to go straight to the storage unit and unload this thing because the storage unit closes at 8. So I want all this crap put away.
Yeah, it's. I like how you're calling it crap, because sometimes I think that myself. But it is your lovely possessions and hobbies.
Yes, and today I was seriously thinking that maybe I need another hobby that's different, like watching TV. Oh, I already do that.
Oh, wait, you already do that. Why don't you just take up? Do you know what petty point is?
No.
Needlepoint. You can do it while you're watching TV. Since you're a good sewer anyway,
Yes.
you can do some needlework. All right. So in the comments, someone wants to know if Jake is there and if they can meet him, because he's famous now, and all they know is Jake crying from his little boy photo from last week. So, Jake, hi, good to see you. Has his dad been behaving all day?
Yeah, I mean, we've just been working, but...
Awesome. All right. Well, and you're smiling and you're not crying.
No, I'm not crying.
The tears and the crying will come like next week as we are driving across the U.S. Getting hemorrhoids and getting bored listening to every podcast, right?
I guess.
Anyway, all right. Well, you guys drive safe with that precious cargo, and I guess we'll talk to you later.
All right, we'll see you in a few.
All righty, bye. All right, so there you go. That's what Tim's up to, and they're getting shit done. So, thanks for those of you tuning in to see me and listen to what I got to say. So, yeah, back to the scream. I've worn these earrings any stressful situations when I gave birth to both of my children, and some other stressful stuff we've gone through in our life. And I thought, this is like appropriate time, because here we are again. And, moving stinks, especially twice in a year, and packing all your crap that you have and going. And when I was in college, I counted it 5 times in a 10-year window, like every year for the first 5 years. Then I stayed put for a while, and then we moved. But that's a lot. But I know a lot of you that are in military or that move frequently. Desiree told me that she moved like every year for the first 8 or 9 years. I don't know how you do it. Because I would just go mental. Anyway, to that point, it's been a bit of a struggle. I wrote about how I've been trying to give away so much stuff. We have this thing in town called Facebook. Not just on Facebook Marketplace, but on the Marketplace site, there's these groups. And there's 2 groups that I am part of that are auction site. The 48-hour auction site is one of my favorites, and it's so fun in our little town. I don't know, every town's got to have one of these, but it's run really well. And what happens is you join it, you pay a little fee, $5 or $10 for the year to keep you accountable and to help the manager run it. But then you can post stuff on there, and you don't have to have a garage sale. And you post it, and then what happens is the auction ends, highest bidder wins. You'll have to start at $1. It goes up in increments. And when the time is over, people can arrange pickup at your doorstep, or to meet with somebody if it's like a bigger, more valuable item that's a lot more money. Well, I've been doing this for quite a while now, and this year, as you can imagine, I've been selling all kinds of goodies because I'm so over garage sales. I don't know about any of you that like them, but after having a couple of them, and you just sit there all day, and it's tiring, I thought I'm going to do this because I get a lot better at money for stuff where, a 50-cent plastic dustpan in a garage sale, people just love to outbid one another. You all are super funny. So someone will bid $1, and then someone's like, oh, well, I could just bid 2. And the next thing you know, the 50-cent dustpan is sold for $7. And it's making me a little cash and making me laugh at some of it. And other things do go for a little less than you'd hope, but that's the fun part of it. So what happens is then I do porch pickup, which means I have this box outside. It's got a yellow lid. My items are in there. People are very honest. They come and they put some money in an envelope, leave it in the box, get their item. Well, we've been selling so much stuff with this move that our neighbor across the street and the one beside us, they watch this like continuously. Like it's just like entertainment for them. And our neighbor, he's like, it's like it looks like you got a regular drug deal going on. People are coming up, dropping money in this bin, take it off with stuff. And it is, I think, pretty funny. I guess if you were watching it, he is convinced that I can sell anything, including the Golden Gate Bridge. And so then he started bringing me his stuff to get rid of. And literally, Tim's like, well, come on, man. You got to tell him, no, we're trying to get rid of our own stuff. But anyway, I don't mind helping him out getting rid of a few things. So I have sold some stuff for him as well. But it's been really good. So yay to the 48-hour auction site. Love you. And I'm really going to miss posting. I have a few things on there now, but some stuff, man, I have it on Marketplace. If you are all in the need for a barbecue, I cannot practically give that thing away. And I might be giving it to the winner of the contest this week because I can barely give that thing away, as well as some other goodies. So Google my name on Facebook Marketplace and see what I've got, because you'll be able to find it. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about the weird news of the week. Tim is so much, I think, colorful cheering this stuff, but I did find a couple of things. Oh, here we go. So apparently there was a poker player. I mean, this is actually kind of made me laugh at first and made me angry. A poker player who drew donations for a Las Vegas event lied about dying from cancer. I'm not kidding. So this poker player said he had terminal cancer and accepted thousands of dollars in donations so that he could play a World Series of Poker tournament in Las Vegas. He admits it was all a lie, but Rob Mercer told the Las Vegas Review-Journal he made up stage 4 colon cancer diagnosis for his GoFundMe page in June. And he was trying to raise funds to meet the $10,000 buy-in for the No Limit Hold'em World Championship, and received contributions between $30,000 and $50,000, including a stay at a suite in the Bellagio. And a fellow player from Arizona who suffers from chronic illness donated $2,500 too. I'm not sure how he got caught. But anyway, he says, get this. I'm sorry for not being asked about what my situation was. If I would have done that from day one, who knows what would have happened. Then it gets worse. He says he won't be refunding anyone's money because he now believes he has undiagnosed breast cancer. And now he has been banished from the poker community. All right, weigh in on this. What do you think? I mean, men do get breast cancer. 37, I'm kind of calling BS on this, unless this is a woman turned man. I wish Tim was here for this one, because he would have some funny crap to say about this. But that's, first off, I have a friend who does have stage 4 colon cancer. It's horrible to just pull that prank on people. That is disgusting. Yeah, as Randy says, find him and beat him. And I do wonder, yeah, Desiree, if he did break some law. I mean, I don't know. This just came out September 20th. But now he doesn't want to refund anybody's money because he thinks he has undiagnosed breast cancer. like, whoa, that's just, the whole thing is just sick. But anyway, people are people, and it makes the news. So there you go. You can send some hate mail to Rob Mercer. Yeah. Well, the other thing I was going to talk about in the news, and since that it seems to be where we live, anyway, the season of the colds. Everybody's getting sick. Kids are back in school, and it always kind of happens. And I think we all forgot that because, gosh, we've forgotten that. We've forgotten what it's been like since the last few years of the pandemic, like chaos. And I think people's immunity is a little different because, we're used to wearing masks and being locked away. So yes, people are getting sick. They're getting head colds. They're getting a little bit of stomach viruses. There's some weird chest colds going around, but it sure seems to be endemic here where we live. Well, on that note, the top decongestant on the market doesn't actually decongest, the FDA says. And this is new out as well. So, the leading decongestant used by millions of Americans looking for relief from a stuffy nose is no likely to be any better than placebo, according to government experts. Take this to heart, who reviewed the latest research on the long question ingredient of the drug Sudafed. This is Sudafed that contains phenylephrine, not pseudoephedrine. So, modern studies, when well conducted, are not showing any improvement in congestion using the phenylephrine. And now the advisors to the FDA voted unanimously on Tuesday against the effectiveness of the ingredient in Sudafed, Allegra, Dayquil. And they actually met before. It was in 2007 when they challenged its effectiveness. And then they kind of just ignored it and kept it on the shelf. But they're looking at it again. Apparently, the study on this thing, it says, is really not been carried out very well. The studies on that of what's on the shelf is stuff that's dating back into the 60s and early 70s. The trials and the restrictions and how the trials had to be conducted at that point were much different. And the studies were very tiny. And now they are doing some small trials on looking at these doses again and basically saying it's no better than placebo. And if you hold it to the standards now in randomized controlled trials, it just does not work. So, yes, the bottom line is these original studies don't stand up to the modern standards of study design or conduct. So what's going to happen? They're going to present this to the FDA, and who knows what'll happen. They think that there probably won't be any immediate impact, so you'll probably see it on the shelves for a while. The other thing to note is, they talked about what about if you bump up the dose? The issue with phenylephrine is that it can cause a lot of side effects. Tim hates that stuff. It drives, he gets all jittery on it. I don't really like it. Doesn't seem to do anything for me. And I know a lot of patients, they seem to like it. But honestly, if you use it as a nasal spray, then it actually does work better. But as a pill form, no. And in high doses, and actually even on the dose that's over the counter, you have to be very careful if you have blood pressure issues because it can raise your blood pressure significantly. And we actually don't recommend people that are on antihypertensives take it. So they're saying, yes, the drug appears to be the most effective when applied directly in the nose in spray or drop form, but pill, no. So stay tuned and see. Maybe that phenylephrine will be no more. Otherwise, know that you're probably better off just taking a Tic Tac. There you go. So that is what's new in the news from me. And, I would like to say being sick's no fun. Tim's hanging in there and taking his vitamin C, zinc, D. That's what I recommend. All right. I would like to share my beverage of the night, which is a fine Pinot Gris that Tim opened. And of course, we're trying to clear the shelves and drink up what we have. And this is my favorite vineyard. If you've watched the show enough or listened, it's Y East Vineyards, estate grown 2022 Pinot Gris. But I also want to give a shout out to our hometown, Moore Family Vineyards, because they've been a sponsor, and because this is our last show in Oregon, and I'm getting all emotional. It's weird. I think that Moore Family Vineyards deserves a shout out. Tim and I are doing our wine club pickup there this weekend and having a little get together. So thank you to them. They have great wines, white and red. So check out Moore Family Vineyards if you ever get to Sweet Home. And if you're here, support them. They're great. Excuse me. Okay. I have to talk about the photo of the week from this week. If you read our newsletter, or if you were on the social media posts, then there was a lovely photo of Tim in a baby costume, wearing an orange, I can't even remember. I'll see if I can pull it up. Wearing an orange baby suit and screaming and crying like a baby. And the challenge was to guess why he was in the baby costume. So a couple of the comments were that he was at a New Year's party, that he was in a talent show giving his best talent. That was Gary Jarvis, and that was the closest. So Gary, you win again, 2 weeks in a row. It's kind of, I don't know. You either know us really well or you're creeping us out. I'm kidding. Someone else wrote, because he's crying because he's a baby. Actually a baby. And I put, he's crying because he has a man cold. But anyway, the story on that to announce officially Gary Jarvis is the winner is that we were at the Nickelodeon Hotel in Orlando, and the kids were having a great time, and they had this stupid it wasn't even a contest, it was a talent show, and they were recruiting the parents to get up there and be part of it and to act silly, and they were looking for volunteers, and the kids volunteered. Their dad, he didn't know what he was going to have to act out. He got pulled up into the stage, and they told him that he had to do his best to act like a baby and cry. They put this diaper on him and a bib and this little baby hat, and there's actually a picture of him in a giant what do you call it? Baby high chair, in a high chair. I wish I could find that thing, but it's on our other computer that died with all the photos. So yeah, Tim was at the Nick Hotel pretending to be a baby for the talent show, and the kids were very impressed. He got a standing ovation, and I don't think he won anything except, I don't know, probably a free donut at the food court. There you go. But Tim's actually always a good sport, and we have fun where there's some crazy costumes. I'll have to come up with, find some of those to share with you all from years past. And he did dress up as a sperm one year for Halloween. I think I know he was in college. It was pretty impressive. The headgear on that thing that he made with this giant cardboard head with white sheet on it and the tail and the whole bit. It's spot on. Maybe I'll have to put that on the social media post. Jim the sperm. Anyway, that's the story behind his crazy costumes. Tomorrow on the podcast, we have an interview with endocrinologist Cassie Smith. This is a really interesting interview, and Cassie here, I'm going to pull up her information. She is double board certified in both endocrinology, diabetes metabolism, and internal medicine. And she's like one of the top doctors in the top doctor list of 405 magazine. She's part of Biote's medical advisory board. And her mission is really to help rebalance hormones and enhance overall health. She really is big into hormone replacement therapy, bioidentical hormones, but also weight loss, thyroid issues, having gone through her own problems with Hashimoto's that she talks about. Really good, an expert on diabetes as well. She's amazing following and great educational videos on Instagram. So if you listen to the podcast tomorrow, we will talk about those and link her information. Really good stuff in there. Today's truth bomb that dropped was all about crowd madness. Tim goes off about the recent news on Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and all the members of the House giving a standing ovation for a previous German Nazi. Actually, he was a Ukrainian Nazi supporter from World War II. You have to listen to the episode. He gives the whole backstory on why they gave him a standing ovation by mistake. Subsequently, I think today, the Speaker of the House in Canada resigned because he was the one that started and initiated the I'm trying to think of the word. They were acknowledging his what he did and didn't do the research to find out that he was actually, they thought he was on the side of the West as well as Russia, but he was actually on the side of Germany. Anyway, it went bad. And we talk about the whole issue of just following the crowd, doing what everybody's doing, because it seems like your camp is doing a cool thing. So you just join along, whether it's voting, whether it's in a situation like that where everybody's giving this guy a round of applause and like, oh, he must be a great guy. Everybody's cheering. I'll support him too. I'll get on the bandwagon without doing your research and homework. And things can go sideways and bad really quickly. And so we talk about Walt Disney and tie it into how lemmings jumping from a cliff were featured in this stupid documentary we remember from when we were kids, and how we don't want you to be a lemming. We don't want you to be embarrassed by supporting the wrong thing and just doing your homework. So listen all about it on BS Free MD podcast to hear about how not to be a lemming, how to avoid just following the crowd. All right. Excuse me. My cold is catching up with me. All right, I'm going to wrap this up into a little bit of a bittersweet memoir. I sat down to think about what I was going to talk about by myself, which I usually don't like to do. I'm very introverted, but have fun with people sort of one-on-one in small groups, and the podcast is different. But for me to just stand and look at the screen because I'm looking at myself and carry a conversation is very not my style. So I appreciate everybody's little comments supporting me. Thank you. But I started to think about, okay, what am I going to talk about? Tim's not here. And other than the news and what's going on with the podcast, I thought this is the last one here. And, we could have had a little celebratory, pop some champagne in this empty studio here, and wrapped up kind of what it's been like starting this podcast 3 years ago. We tried to get on Desiree to come on with me and talk about the podcast and where we came from and where we're going, but she's a little tied up, so that's okay. Mitch has been on before, but it's like the end of an era, and we've been thinking a lot about that. We've talked about it. It's kind of crazy. We're in this phase of life where we're free to start over. And we've done this before, changing countries, but wow, we're actually leaving where we raised our kids. We planted ourselves, had great careers. Tim is going to be, we get asked all the time for retiring. Well, Tim is not retiring. He has a job and will be doing urgent care in Florida. I am pretty much retired from urgent care practice now. I did some consulting this summer for disability exams and disability company for the state. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing in the medical world. I have some ideas and thoughts, so you'll hear about those as they happen. But we've gone from small town country doc. I started right here in this town in 1994 in a little office with 2 other docs and me, and Tim was doing obstetrics, and we talked about doing hospital medicine with taking care of our own patients. Tim doing obstetrics, running across the street to deliver babies during clinic or in the middle of the night, and house call. That was so fun doing house calls, phone call, coroner, and more, and how things have evolved. Kids are growing up, careers changed, systems changed, small town medicine grew into big town medicine, and we've left the corporation that we were with for 25 years and went elsewhere. We've worked through COVID, which honestly was a beautiful, blessing to be I think a physician and a doctor during that time. That's what we were made for things like that. And a lot of people, have different opinions. They did really have, it was a rough time, so I understand it, but I'm like, yeah, I think this is what we were made for. A lot of people say I didn't sign up for this. Well, I did sign up for it. I'm from a generation where we signed up to serve and be on the line, just like my son who's in the military, like any of you that have been in the military, you signed up for that battle. And hopefully most of the time, yeah, it's peacetime or things are pretty chill, but you know what you signed up for. And so it was quite an honor to be able to help people through that and allay fears. And you just all know the emotion of that. But the podcast was born out of that. And we sat at home in our library, calming down anxieties and answering questions. And, we were anxious and nervous, and we had so much fun sharing what we knew and, putting on the crazy masks, the N95. I just remember it snapping on Tim's face and my friend laughing at that slow clip over and over to the plague doctor masks that we wore and just updating you with information. But out of that, our podcast was born, and it has grown. We were part of the DPN from the beginning, and that's how we met our business manager and all around task girl, Desiree. And it has really been exciting what we built over the years. We have Mitch helping us now with our social media and all our crazy videos and editing all the clips, doing a wonderful job at trying to get us reels and likes and followers. And so I'm gonna really miss all this. We have the memories. We're gonna create new ones. We're excited to see how this podcast now will grow, being that we have bigger connections and different connections on the other side of the world. And we've met some amazing people who we hope help this grow bigger. So ultimately, we thank our listeners and our fans. And from the bottom of my heart, Tim and myself thank our support staff, Desiree, Mitch, and Nathan, Nathan puts all the sound together for the podcast, and he is one of the behind the scenes guys that doesn't get enough credit. He does a great job, and he gets to listen to a lot of drivel and a lot of cussing, swearing, and super edited out stuff for his ears only that Tim says, and I occasionally go off the rails on too, and as you can imagine. So thank you to Nathan as well. The three of you all mean so much to us. This studio little room that I'm in is going to be ripped down tomorrow after we do our last recording here. And what happens over the next month till we get put roots down in Florida, I have no ideas, but just stay with us because we will come to you live. We're going to be doing some on the road stuff. We'll be doing some funny videos, and we will be driving next Wednesday, but I'd love to try to figure out some kind of a Doctales episode so you can see what we're doing. So we might have some replays of some great shows we've done over the years. We do have some recordings in the works to share with you all for the next 4 weeks. So it's going to be about a month till we're settled, but we still have great content coming out on the podcast regularly, and the Doctales is to be determined. But I'm getting kind of emotional just thinking about this whole thing, and it's really been great. But we think that, it's just the beginning of greater things. So thank you to everybody for watching, for listening. You're the reason we're here, for real. And so without further ado, unless you guys have any other comments, questions, I'll kind of leave it open for a couple more minutes. I know there's only a few on the live stream watching, but it's been great. We honestly, the winner, I have to close out by saying, I think we should really give Gary a prize again. So I will get one for you, Gary. I'll message you. It might not be as beautiful as the books that I gave you last week as your prize, but we'll think of something. Anyway, I'm going to sign off and say cheers from both Tim and I in Sweet Home, Oregon. It's been a great ride, these 29 years, the podcast, the last 3 years. Thank you to everybody. Stick around and follow us on our adventures. Pray for us that we have a safe journey. And I'm going to just say, tuning out, bombs away. Glad you've been here. And we'll see you from Florida. Now, a final word from our sponsor. At Pearson Ravitz, they understand that life can change in an instant. It's hard to imagine that a sudden illness, injury, or catastrophic event could put you and your family in a devastating financial situation. Physician-founded and physician-focused, Pearson Ravitz builds human connections before they create quotes. Visit www.pearsonravitz.com today and embark on a journey of safeguarding your future.
It's no secret that medicine is a bit uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
But we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible. We can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.